my experience knowing people that have worked in telehealth in large health systems, it was a lot of work to get people to buy into the idea. It feels like the last year has been this tipping point, which, to your point, like, it exposed everyone to this thing. They had to do it in some way, shape, or form. And so they were exposed to the value. Is that how is that kind of what you're seeing in the work that you're doing today?
I think yes and no. I mean, I think one of the challenges that probably I realize about myself is that I'm always pushing farther. Like, I'm like, well, what's the next? What's the next? So what I'm looking at right now is seeing that during the pandemic, that the data, we had 80% televisits. And now if we look at health systems, and I'm not talking about people who do things in the employer space, because we see different data there. If we look at health systems now, they're dropping back into this 20% zone. And people are saying, well, it's how it has to be. And I'm instantly like, that's not how it has to be. That is business as usual. That is before we were all remote. And so we really had to continue to use these tools to connect. And now the practices are open again, or the hospitals are open again. And because there's not a good understanding of how to integrate and have a true hybrid kind of model, that I think we see the 20% just out of probably people who are like, I don't want to come in, and they're like, okay, we'll do tele. So I look at it much more like, now let's look and say, what's the right tool for the right patient with the right kind of thing. So is that email? Is that text? Is that phone? Is that video? How do we, again, make this much more the care continuum instead of these sort of transactional interactions? And if we look at the data of organizations that work directly with employers. So they may have an on-site clinic, and then they have tele tools also. They went also 90% tele, but they've come back at a 40%. And I think 40% is the right number. And they would include that of everything: email, text, phone calls, video. I think that's the right number. But if you open the doors back up and we don't keep the momentum of how this is valuable for patients and for clinicians, then going back to business as usual is really easy. It's just a habit.